It's been 2 years since that incident that made me go crazy. I still hear that death-defying voice, seeing that crazy face pop up everywhere I turn. 2 years ago, I met with a monster that completely destroyed my mind. Its name was Blackout. The ghost of Halo that has been haunting me all this time. I see him everywhere. He is not let to leave me alone. My life was just fine before I downloaded that map. That stupid custom map that someone made that was holding this monster in its script. I never touched my Xbox since that final day of my encounter. I hear his voice in my head and see his face in the dark corners of my room. I kept telling myself he isn't really there, but it never works. I see his eye piercing through blackness, stalking me as I sleep. My parents were so worried about me and tried to get me help, but I refused multiple times. I've become a dark and bitter version of myself. No friends, no family, no social contact in the matter. I flew into a rage one day, screaming at the top of my lungs and cursing everyone and everything for no exact reason. No one was home, of course, but I could feel him watching me, looking into my soul as I completely broke down. I could almost hear his voice in my head saying, "Your insanity. Oh, how it shines like a beacon." I reached underneath my bed and grabbed Halo 3. The case was covered in dust and had been one of many items I tossed under there after that fateful night. There was only one way I can get him out of my head. And that was to find out what the hell its intentions are and why me, of all people, would it choose to haunt, to destroy my life. I have said it once before. I saw him everywhere. A couple days after that incident with it, my girlfriend Claire broke up. She told me I was acting crazy and that I needed help. I argued with her and ended it, right in front of a crowded hallway at school. Our relationship busted into pieces. I don't know why I am telling you this. She turned to walk away from me, and I seen something that I can't get out of my head. It was escorting her down the hall. Its arm was around her shoulder, leading her down the hall. Its head spun all around to where it faced me, grinning widely at me. I flew into a rage, ramming my fist into a locker and proceeding to headbutt it until my forehead began to bleed. It took 3 teachers to take me down. I thought about this as I looked down at Halo 3. I turned on my Xbox and had to wait for an update. Why didn't I just quit? Why didn't I just give the game away? It's because it wouldn't have changed a damn fucking thing. It was already in my head, toying with me and making me see illusions and completely destroying me from the inside out. I slid the tray in, holding Halo 3. The dashboard was no longer nightmarish, but I had the most recent update to it. I sat on the bed, waiting for the game to load to the main menu. When it loaded, I opened up the armory menu. My elite was wearing his yellow and blue commando armor. I selected the map with a strange lettering. The black screen faded in with a normal loading icon and the scoreboard. It was just me in Forge mode, waiting to see that fucking abomination rise in front of me. I spawned plasma grenades along with a beam rifle and energy sword. Not only all of those, I had a flamethrower and a missile pod behind me. I was gonna fight this time. I wasn't gonna run. This time, I meant war. Off in the far distance, I saw a black figure run from my view behind the structure at the far end of the map. I jumped inside the chopper and headed in that direction. As I rounded the corner, the screen flashed with his face on the screen. It startled me where I sort of screamed. Finally, I got around the corner, and the scream stopped flashing, and my chopper hit a landmine. It exploded, but somehow I survived. Shields were low. Did it really just use a landmine like an actual player? This bot is pretty smart. Or was there more behind him than I expected? I turned and pulled my beam rifle out. It was walking towards me slowly, like a flood combat foam type of walk. A voice came out of my speakers. I plugged in my mic and listened. "Do you hear this a long time to keep someone waiting?" The voice said in a dark tone. The voice that haunted me for so long was real once again. I fired the beam rifle at him, and the bullet just hit and did nothing. I couldn't move once again. I smashed buttons. Faster, but he crept slowly towards me. He was wearing the same armor. CQB with pitch black to it, and that little crack in the visor to where his eyes could be seen. Finally I could move, and I turned into Oracle mode and flew off in the distance. I turned back to player mode and turned to face him. He hit me with a melee. His arm was missing the same see-through hole where the shoulder should be. My shields dropped like I was being hit by a normal player. I ran backwards, found my beam rifle at him. One bullet hit him, but when it did, it lagged, and he got closer. A high-pitched screech filled my ear with pain from my mic. It caught me off guard as he began to run at me. Using the flood animation, he jumped into fair air at me. I needed it right. I pressed the X button as he was only a few feet from me. I tossed the flare and switched to Oracle mode and flew out of his range. It stood there, waiting for the flash to end. "Hey asshole! Up here!" I screamed. The flare disappeared and the creature looked straight up. I dropped a scorpion tank on his ugly ass. The tank dropped to the ground with a crashing noise, and then my Oracle exploded. "You have committed suicide," popped up on the bottom of the screen. What the hell was that? The screen went black and flashed of images of faces of flood-infected forms, dead elites and Spartans. Something very disturbing popped up on the screen next. It was me, sitting on the edge of my bed, with the mic on, and the controller in my hand in the middle of my room. I began to breathe heavily and began gasping for air. I had a camera attached to my Xbox so I could video chat with friends. I looked up at the camera. Instead of a normal green light, it was flashing red and purple. It wasn't a picture, it was me. It was like I moved in real life. I moved on the screen. I began to feel dizzy, and I felt sick to my stomach. Over in the corner of my room stood a black silhouette. I looked back and it wasn't there. When I looked back, it stood beside me. Its head was twitching. Its head rapidly staring at me. Goosebumps ran up and down my body. I wanted to scream, but knew it wouldn't do any good. His arm was the same as it was in the game, in the camera. I could see the hole and see the corner of my room. It raised his arm in the air over my head. I watched in horror as he twitched and spun his head in inhuman ways. As he tossed my head, a headache hit me so bad, it brought me to my knees. "Make it stop! Get it out of me! It's in my head!" I dropped to the ground and closed my eyes. I opened my eyes and I was in a dark room. And it was so cold. The room had nothing in it. It was just made of brick. There was a hallway extending in front of me, descending down deeper into the darkness. I looked down at my hands. "What the fuck?" I said. "This isn't right. This isn't right at all." I had the hands of an elite. I felt the skin of my arms, and they were rough to the touch. My armor was commando. I had actually become my character from the game itself, and my vision almost like my face was against the screen. A message popped in my face. Hold down on D-pad to activate flashlight. I didn't have a controller, and I couldn't walk. My flashlight kicked on only when I thought about it. As soon as I thought about the flashlight turning on, it miraculously just turned on. I tried walking, but I was stuck. Then I thought about moving, and my elite body took a step forward. I fought again, and he stepped again. I was moving down the staircase, descending to the darkness with nothing but a mounted flashlight on my shoulder. I descended down to where the floor turned into a long hallway. I walked down the brick hallway until I nearly tripped over something. I gained my balance and turned to see what I had tripped over. It was the body of a Spartan. It seemed so familiar. The longer I looked at it, the more I could recognize it. Chris. It was Chris's Spartan. It was lying dead against the wall. What the hell is this? Down the hall, footsteps came walking towards me. I was freaking out and was looking for a place to hide. Beside me was a room that was empty, but had a small hole in the wall that you could look into the hall. I ran into a room and looked in through the hole that was directly in front of Chris's Spartan corpse. A Spartan walked in front of him. It wasn't that Blackout thing either. I've never seen a Spartan before. It looks like he got another one. This one passed away 2 years ago, he said to himself. I never heard the voice before either. He turned to face the hole I was staring through. I leaned against the wall, out of sight. He turned around and faced the body again. "I know you're hiding in there. Show yourself," he said. I slowly got up from my sitting position and walked out of a room in front of a Spartan. The Spartan was wearing recon armor. His colors were purple and still. Another survivor. I was hoping my creation wouldn't get anyone else. "You're the man that went missing. The ex-Bungie employee that created that creature," he said. "Keep your voice down. Do you want him to find us?" He said in a shush yet aggressive voice. "Well, you are correct. What happened to me? And where am I asked. "You're in a coma, fighting death itself, and you're on your way to the hospital right now. When people fall into a coma, they go into a world that they have to fight either their worst fears, or sometimes death itself. The creature represents both. This is his world, his hunting ground." I turned to face Chris's body. "He was my friend who was killed by it. Did he come here too?" I asked. "Yes, he did. From the looks of things, he didn't last too long. If he kills you in here, he kills you in real life. You've taken the form of your character because that's how it pictures you," he said. "I never wanted to create something that could do this to people. I wanted to create bots so people could play by themselves. As you can clearly see, it didn't turn out the way I wished it had. Are you stuck here too?" He waved his hand from me to follow him. My body is on the ground and I'm nothing more than a memory of a creature. I don't stay here very long. I just tell you how to survive and hope you can escape. It roams these halls, searching for you, and will not quit until it finds you and kills you," he said. "Can I kill it?" He stared at me and shook his head. "You can't kill something that never existed in the first place. When you hear him coming, hide. Make sure he does not find you." As he finished his sentence, footsteps could be heard from behind me. Along with the sound of footsteps, the sound of my eye forever. I saw it. With his head completely upside down. I turned around and ran in the direction I was heading earlier. The creature dropped to the ground and began crawling behind me at an unbelievable speed. As I rounded the corner, I saw a light at the end of a hall. I ran for my life and I could hear it behind me. I ran and ran, not turning back for a second. I ran for the light, was only inches from it. When one hand grabbed me from behind me, I dove for the light and awoke in the hospital bed. My mom ran over to me. "Oh my God, I thought I lost you." I was breathing heavily, gasping for air. After I left the hospital, we headed straight for home. I lied down on my bed, trying to get some rest when my phone rang. I looked at the caller ID. Fearing the worst. Luckily, it was my friend. "Hey, did you hear about the ghost that was found on Halo 4? "What?" "Yeah, man. It's pretty fucked up. A black Spartan with only one arm has been joining people's matches and stuff." Another call came in. I switched over. "Hello?" A voice that haunted my nightmares for so long. That god-awful hellish voice spoke to me once again. "I will be waiting for you. You can't escape. Death will be your salvation. I will make you suffer just like I did." I thought quickly. What was I gonna do? He won't leave me alone. The time for being scared and running away was long gone. There was time to fight. I answered back. "Go ahead. Be waiting for me. I'll be there very soon. The people you torture, the people you kill, that ends. The next time I see you, Blackout, I'm gonna fucking kill you. For I'm not running away. You're not gonna torture me or scare me anymore. This is war. You think you're gonna make me suffer? You've never heard of suffer. I'm gonna make it so you're in so much pain. Pain you can never ever think of." I hung up the phone. I went to go to sleep. Lay down in my bed. A minute later, my mom yells at me. Andrew. Oh, fuck, what do you want? I'm trying to sleep. Says there's something in the mailbox. I'm like, the fuck? It's 10 o'clock at night. Why the fuck would there be mail? So I go downstairs, look at it. It's a package. She asks me, do you know a Blackout? I say, in a harsh but starting voice, yeah, I do. I play with him on Halo all the time. He's a friend. Take the package upstairs. How the fuck did this fucker know where I lived? It's not possible. He broke the fourth wall. This is when I knew that he wasn't just in the game. He was real. He was an actual thing, trying to destroy me. Not just in the game, but in real life. I opened the package. There inside it was a limited edition of Halo 4. I didn't even order it. I didn't even buy it. A note was in there. It was written in blood. It said, I'll be waiting for you. You want this fight? It's gonna happen. How can you destroy something you can't even see? Can't hurt? Can't be destroyed. I am the embodiment of evil. All you fear and all you know of death is me. So go ahead. You may not think that I'm not gonna torture anymore. You may think you'll end my killing. You'll never even get close. I read the letter. I ripped it into shreds. He was actually targeting me. So if he has come for me, he must be coming for my family. I was tired of it. I couldn't take it anymore. I popped in the disc. When I got to the menu, I pressed start, and I pressed join the local match. I joined. 3, 2, 1. Join a match. It was on a match called Haven. It was a map name. I walked in the middle, and what appeared, that black mass, came out of it, was Blackout, standing there, looking at me. It was like he was nagging me, trying to get me to actually come towards him. I had a pistol. I pointed at him, and I said, you think this is the end? This isn't the end. This is the beginning. The beginning of the war on Halo 4. I took a shot, and the screen blacked out. A message popped up on my screen saying, nice try, kid. Better luck next time. I'm gonna have fun with this. I got another call. It was from him again. Except he was heavily breathing. Blackout sounded hurt. He said, how could you actually wound me? This isn't fucking possible. He hung up. I now know that he's not indestructible. He can be beaten, and will be beaten. So this is a war of Halo 4. This is to all the people out there. Listen to this. Contact me immediately if Blackout encounters you. Whatever you do, if you see him, leave the game. If we work together, we can destroy him. I won't stop. I won't let anyone else have the same fate as I did. No one will suffer no more. This is how it begins. This is going to be the end of Blackout. My phone rings again. I pick it up. What the fuck do you want, Blackout? He says, I can hear everything you're saying. Sure, you can get help, but that won't stop. Welcome to the real life. Welcome to Halo 4.